Hey everyone, I'm just out the front of the chateau and I thought it's a beautiful day, so why not come out and give everyone a glimpse of the front park. Down there is the driveway and the front gate. Got something wrong with my eye. And then over there is the driveway through the woods down to the front gate to enter and exit into the chateau grounds. But we're not just here to talk about the lovely front park, fountain and driveway at the chateau. We're actually here to discuss another important element of French homes, and that is the timber window shutters, which Steve and I recently did a refurbishment on. So come with me and we'll have a look.
Oh honey, though our friendship's
Okay, so let's talk shutters. This stone around the perimeter of the shutters is called truffaut stone, and it's very common to this area. It's quite a soft stone, and due to weather and moisture over time, these pin hinges, they become quite loose and hence fall out, which means obviously because the shutters are hanging off them, they become unusable. A bit more about this stone and the removal. So following the degradation of the old stone, the stonemason would then come in and remove the old piece of stone that has degraded. And little fact, the stone is actually about a foot deep back into the wall. So it's not just a small piece on the front, it actually goes in quite deep. And then to put the new piece in, they bring it to site, but it's been hand carved off site to the right shape that it needs to be. The stonemason will return, put the new stone back in there and set it in place. So that's where Steve and I came in, and it was our job to recast these pins into the stone. So the process for that was pretty much to put the shutters in their final position where they would be, and with the pin and the strap part of the hinge in place, we would mark exactly where the hole location needed to be, and then it was just a case of removing all that with the hammer drill, drilling in on an angle into the new stonework so we could actually set the pin hinge in place. Now with the pin hinges, we had them actually extended, the arm that goes into the stone extended off site, just so that they would go in deep enough so we could get a really strong fixing into the stone. And we've got some visitors. And so here's some film of Steve with the comedy size hammer drill bit, just drilling out the holes on the angle, getting ready to cast in the new pin hinges. And also a quick visual of the pin hinge extensions. So traditionally with these stone blocks at the bottom and the pin hinges, the hinges would have been cast in place at the factory when they were shaped and everything like that. So, but because times have changed and we didn't have that option anymore, our job was to drill and set them in place ourselves. And to set them in place, we didn't use mortar, we used a product, a Chem-Fix product or a Chem-Set product, which worked out perfectly for what we needed to do. Because these doors are so heavy, we needed that product. I think they're about 3 or 3.5 meters high, these doors, and they're so heavy, so we needed a product that was strong enough to be able to support the weight of the doors. And the good thing about the Chem set that we used was that it turned out to be exactly the same color as the stone, which means we didn't have to do any other color matching of anything, and it just blended in very, very nicely. So now we've got two beautiful, swinging, functional and heavy shutters. Let's talk a little bit about the hardware. It's all still original. These are called Espagnolette or Cremant bolts, or if anyone else knows a name for them, the actual name perhaps, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. They work via a hook system on the top and the bottom, via a bolt or a little pin on the bottom and the top there, and they need to be opened and closed from the inside. With weather and wind, the way you secure these back is via this little hook system here. And you can see in there, you just pull it up, push it back, and then lock it in position there, and then they stay closed on windy days. So the other thing about these shutters is that they need to sort of be on for from a home security aspect, and also to protect the original windows that are still very much part of the chateau. So as you're about to see, the drilling of some of these pin locations for the hinges weren't in an ideal spot. These ones being right on the step of the bottom stone block, so it made it a bit tricky to get a start for that drill, but all worked out in the end. So I think that just about wraps up the shutter job, shutter explanation. Pretty happy with the result. Let me just say that not every pin hinge had come out of these shutters. There was, I think, maybe a dozen to do over 4 sets of shutters, and when you think about, these had 3 on each side, so we had 12 in total, and the ones on the tower had 2 each side, so another 8 in total. There was 20 overall, and we only needed to change 12, or when I say only, still a lot of holes and a lot of tubes of chem set, a lot of up and down ladders, and a lot of heavy lifting as well. But all in all, it all came together well. We're happy with the result. They all function well, and yeah, I think that's pretty much covers it. So any questions, comments, queries, feedback at all, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe you learned something too. So talk to you in the next one.